Welcome to episode 12 of this Let's Play series. My name is DasTactic and we are playing Shadow Empire. This is actually probably not going to be as big a game as I would have actually originally hoped, because we're sort of now entering the final stages. We're now at war with the Nemesis player. There really is only the one major that we're actually up against. They're stronger than what we are, but ultimately we will be able to defeat them because we are getting very, very close now to being able to pick up a group of, like with the metals that we actually have through here. I'm sort of jiggling away on the left-hand side there, just sort of showing where the metals actually are. We need to get that one pretty double what that is, but we'll get there pretty soon now, and then we'll actually end up with an armoured group. And all we have to do at the moment is just hold back the line in the trees, and then once we get that armoured group, we're going to be absolutely able to gobble up all of the actual territory. So we will do. I'm very, very confident now that we'll get on top relatively quickly. I am surprised at just how well they have done up until now, like with the attacks through the forest. So they are sort of attacking. We are isolating some of their units, which is good, but we do have to be a little bit careful. So, with all that in mind, one thing we were going to have a look at was spies in this particular episode. Let's have a look at the strategic map, and so we can sort of see what's going on. Now, you've got three different areas in the strategic map. You've got sort of like your standard zones, and you can sort of see there they've got like non-aligned forces extend off into all sorts of different areas back up through there. We've got the Pegala Imperium, which is off on the other side, way over this side. We've got Nebelmark, which is the group that we're fighting against, back over this way. And then we've got ourselves, Dystopia, back in through here. What we're interested in with spy networks is actually the zones. So when we click on the different zones that we see there's a lot more zones than what we saw there before. Now, these with what's it called? The asterisk are our zones. So we've got Kirkwall, we've got Altona, and we also then have Bismarck itself. So we don't need to spy on our own territories. We can see that there's a few different zones down through here. We've got like one called Belch in the south, and that will be based around that little town of Belch, which is all it is at this stage, is literally just an airfield. So it's just an airfield in the forest. We've got Baben. Where's that? That's the big one up the top there. And what have we got? Alderkopf. Okay, so Alderkopf is down through this side. So they've got three zones that face us at this point in time. So they'll all have their own city inside them, or at least some presence, like this airfield. Sometimes they're not very big. It's more the other ones that aren't these, like Kanaya would be interesting to see, just so we can see the border of, like, just see how far the border extends back in through this side. Zemenum back out through this side would be also interesting to just get a bit of a feel for where the creatures actually are located in that particular group. And then we have Zephyrus, which is a tiny little area that goes back up this way. So I think that if when you do send spies out, they will tend to be destroyed and hunted down if they're sent into major players, like over and through here. So these three here will give us diminishing returns. And if we've got a really, really strong spy director, they can tend to protect them pretty well. But ours is middling to good, but not excellent. And so we've got to be a bit careful with that in that sort of sense. So sending spies into here initially are going to be a little bit not what we really want. So I'm going to put them into Kanaya. Now, what I need to be able to see what sort of creatures there are in this territory, I need to have 3 spies. So with that in mind, let's just go to the strat cards. We're going to go to covert operations. You can see we've got like a few different areas. We've got like send 6 spies in, back in through here. We've got to send 3 spies in and send 1 spy in. Now, it's diminishing returns. Like if I try to send 6 spies into that location, you'll see that by default, this is going into Kanaya. We can also just go into the target zones into here and just make sure that we are picking Kanaya, which is the non-aligned forces. And so it's a 65 difficulty. We will actually get this one automatically with a 69. So let's just execute this stratagem.
Aye, aye, sir.
And we roll a success. Now, we basically got a 50 more than what we had done through here. So we rolled a 131. So the actual die roll itself was 62, plus we had all the other bonuses. And it's given us more than 50 above what the actual difficulty was, which means that we've just doubled the number of spies that go in there. And so we've now got 12 spies in that location. If we go back into the target zones again and have a look, you'll see there's 12 spies now sitting in that location. Let's go back over to this one as well. And you can see it's still 65. We're going to be able to do it, so we'll execute that stratagem.
Aye, aye, sir.
And we rolled a 155, another critical success. That's excellent. So that's now we've got 12 into there as well. Now, this is going to then give us a look at the different borders. the chance of getting 6 spies into the major faction, like if we just go back and have a look, for example, into here, you can see the difficulty is now 160. This is really quite hard. But I still wouldn't mind getting it in just so we can sort of have a bit of a look to see what's actually happening, particularly in this northern area. And so I'm not going to be able to get these in there, so we won't do those. What we'll do is we'll see if we can send a small spy team in. That's 140. It's still very, very difficult. What about individual spies? These are 120. There's a chance. There's a slight chance. Let's just see if we can actually go and do it.
Aye, sir.
So failure. We didn't get to do it. So luckily we escaped detection for our covert operations. We nearly got there. Let's try another time.
Aye, sir.
Nearly got there again. Try again.
Aye, sir.
Nearly again.
Aye, sir.
And nearly. Yeah, we're not going to be able to make it. Let's just try one more time.
Aye, sir.
No, we haven't been able to do it. So we haven't been able to get the spies because our character is not that great. Now, every time that he's done this, the Secret Service Council, he is picking up experience. If we have a quick look and see what he's actually done. If we go to the history, so since spent 6 XP in a failed attempt to improve covert ops. Actually, that's investigate. No, this is actually, when's this turn? This is actually what's just happened, just this turn, actually. So he is sort of starting to try to improve what he's got. This is where the higher capability would then be able to get much, much more experience each time. So he's got that one, the skill log as well. So we've got like the what he's actually been trying to sort of do with his different covert ops roles that have been impactful and effective. Actually, the average skill roll in through there. So this will actually ultimately all start to come to the fore as he does more and more of these. So we should find the covert ops skill should go up a little bit after the last round, and then hopefully that will then help him to then move forward. So let's actually see what actually does happen there. Nothing else for us to really do this turn. One thing we do want to be doing is ultimately getting another, like just so we can sort of look at what we're going to be trying to do this turn with OHQ, brigade level. You can see we can get 50% now. Actually, that is doable. If we go and click on this one, technically we can raise this formation. So 50% of the items are there, but I think I'm just going to let it run through maybe one more turn, and then we'll just get, we'll probably be up to about 70% by that stage. So let's end our turn here. We want to give them a little bit of time also just to correct themselves, get them sort of into a position where their readiness comes up as well. So it'll be a few turns before we're ready to really sort of push hard against these other locations. But we essentially want to be capturing everything up until the hills. Are they going to attack? Not at this stage. They're moving up. We've got 2 tanks in both of these locations, so it's not a good one for them to be trying to attack. But they have positioned themselves in a very weak position there, where we could certainly sort of surround them if we could get the strength. Again, we don't want to be sort of freaking them out just yet. That'll come soon enough. Elections have been held in the Merchant Society. Old Minority won the elections, so the Merchant Society has now taken over. We've got 46% of the vote. Oil drilling has been depleted, and we haven't really found much else with the oil. Okay, we've now got the motorised machine gun infantry troops, discovered the motorised heavy machine gun infantry, not that it really matters that much at this stage, picking up a few other spy cards. But what the big thing is, what we'll find here is that when we sort of have a look around, if I just zoom out, we're now going to have good vision on what's actually in this zone, and this zone actually extends quite a distance. It goes all the way over to here, all the way up to here. So this, and we can see everything that's actually inside here. There's a lot of creatures, a lot of aliens. And there's not much that we have to deal with back in through here, but we now have vision all the way through there. Up this way, we also see it right up to that point there. What we don't see is this group. There's another zone there that we didn't actually have a look at. But we now have very, very clear indication of what's where. Now, I'm assuming there's also one in there, but this is now isolated away from the zone, and so we don't get to see what's actually in here. So we're going to have to do an attack. Might come back actually just to try to get the recon as high as we can. This one as well, we can now sort of see the great big open plains up in the around towards the equator, and this extends not all that far, but what it does do is it gives us a feel for where the border is, as well as any beasts that might sort of wander back down. Again, we've got a creature that's now been sort of caught in the middle between these different areas. We can see there there is actually some forces of the major player sitting back in that location, but there's a lot of other marauders and things, and again they've got the same problem with that we've got, just trying to sort of keep hold of different things. Now, if we go and press number 1, this zone is called Kanea. Now there should be either a town, probably a town called, yeah, there it is. If we took Kanea, that would then basically get rid of the spies that we now have. Our spies are operating from this location. So that's actually the location the spies are operating from, but they've got vision across the actual map itself. Now we can just keep on doing more and more spy operations. We've got a lot of political points, so there's no reason not to do it. Just go to Covert Ops. And look, I'll send in another spy ring. So we'll just go to the target. And we can now just extend even further across than where we were before. So let's just go out to, say, here. So this is another zone. This is the Pecisium Sinastra. And we'll just execute this roll.
Aye, sir.
And again, critical success. So we're seeing more and more. We'll go and we've still got another one of these. Let's go across. Where else should we go? We've got non-aligned forces down through there. This is Lamoan, which isn't really all that important to us. That's the Piccola Imperium, which is a minor faction, which we don't really need to know either. I more just want to find out what's going on over this side. Yeah, in Pribits in through here. Let's have a look and see what this one gives us. This is non-aligned as well. It'll keep on pushing the boundaries across. We're getting some information now about the rest of the actual map itself.
Aye, sir.
Oh, wow, we only just got that one. What did we roll, about a 1? Yeah, we rolled a 1 on a die 100. So we get the plus 68. You can see down over the side here, and we rolled a 1, so we needed 65. I mean, we're always going to get it. We've only got 6 spies in there, though. Now, 3 spies. Just go back into target zones. This through here is... that's actually non-aligned forces as well. That's interesting. All right, well, let's execute that one as well. There's only a 55, so we're definitely going to get this one. That's a critical success. We've got another 6 spies in there. And I think what we'll do is we'll just keep on targeting these other areas around. That's another non-aligned force down through that side. That's landing. This is where the original landfall was. I might just keep the spies down this way. So let's just go and do another one into there. Another critical success, and we've still got one more spy team that we can send in. We don't have any spies in Vobario. Let's just have a look there, I guess.
Aye, sir.
All right, that's enough. So the spy network will now extend across the actual map itself. What we don't have is vision inside the capital, but we're going to have vision around their borders. So we're going to be able to sort of find out, like we're getting some clues as to what's going on. Like this is all non-aligned forces that have actually taken over some of their outposts. That's interesting. So the non-aligned, like the aliens, have actually been wandering and causing all sorts of havoc. Now this is an area, this zone is unknown at this stage. We'll find out what that is fairly soon. So I think that they're actually being pushed, like what we have been as well. Like we've been pushed from the different zones, but we've been able to look after them really and sort of move forward a little bit. This is actually okay where we are. So we're doing quite nicely now that we can see what's where. All we need to do is just manage what we're looking at here. So we'll just move up into there, just get the little town. Keep that one where that is. Back down this way. Now we've now got 1,447. So if I now go into here again and I just go to race formation, we're now at 66%. I think we bring it in because what we can then start to do is just get replacements as the readiness comes up. So we'll get the light armor brigade. We want to go and grab this one. And we can see there that we've got more than enough actual soldiers to man it. It's just the equipment, and that happens to actually be the metals. We just don't quite have enough metals. Now what I could also then go and do is we can have a look at the traders and see what they've actually got. So if we go to the traders, we can buy metal at 6. They've got 118 metal available. Is that because of the... Yeah, there may be more if we sell. Rare earths, we can sell 129. Let's go and sell those.
Yes, sir.
And we can go and buy the metal. We can now get 160. hardly worth it, actually. Let's not worry about it. We'll just get it slowly. Now, the other thing that's going to be a problem is going to be fuel. Ultimately, it's going to be an issue for us. Let's start in the south, and then we'll move our way up from there. So we'll just go across to race formation, OHQ, brigade level of light units. The Blitzer 2s raise the formation. And so now we have the start of a new formation. I tend to make these so that they look a bit more sort of mean, I guess, either like a dark red or a black sort of as the actual colour. So let's just go across the unit admin. We'll change the colour. I will just pick red in this instance, just a bright red. And we'll update. This will be the first light armour. And another thing that we actually want to be doing is changing now so that we end up with these fighting in with this particular group. So that we can get rid of the blitzkrieg from these guys, because we're going to need these we're going to need these to have the blitzkrieg. So let's go across to the strat cards under units, actually under leaders. Is that the one? No, it must be under units or HQs. Here we go. And we're looking for blitzkrieg. We've only got one blitzkrieg card, but we're going to put that onto that particular tank group. These units can only be played on the HQ units. Forget that. What am I doing? First light armor. That should be it. We don't have a leader there yet, so that may be the reason. Let's just see if we can actually. Yeah, we can't actually do the card just yet. What I can do though is I can actually now start to move these. I'm sort of happy enough just to leave these floating around in where they actually are. So let's just go to unit admin. And we're going to now change the HQ of these across to the First Light Armour Brigade, just so that they're part of that red group. And ultimately, they'll then fight with the other tanks. So we're going to end up with a massive group of tanks in through here. So this Blitzer, Unit Administration, change HQ to the First Light Armour Brigade. There we are. And what that does is by changing it over, it then changes the readiness. So the readiness has come right down. That then means that the second infantry that we actually have at the top here can now be changed to change their strat cards to basically probably just nothing, actually. And so we don't need these to have blitzkrieg anymore. So we're just going to go across. In fact, if we go and have a look at this one here, we can only actually grab a card from there. But if we have a look at the actual unit itself here, there is a way to do it. I always forget how to do it. There's none of these, I'm pretty sure. So much information. I won't go through it all, but in this case, strat. Yeah, there's nothing much there. It's forced march. I don't want to be doing that one. Let's leave it off for now. There is a way to do it. Do I call?
Standing by for
No, that's not it either. I've forgotten what to do. Now I remember. When you're actually in there, all you do is you just go to unit admin, which is now with the HQ, and we just remove the posture. So we just want to go back to no posture, which for me sort of is a fairly balanced way to actually have the different units. That means that these will be able to now dig in more effectively. We can sort of see their entrenchment there is 50 because that's sort of natively what they get, but we'll just now leave them where they are. This group, we're going to keep on attacking. I don't know if I might attack with both of these.
Advancing.
So we got it. Come on, get this one. Got it.
Easy.
Excellent. Okay, let's wipe them out. We did lose a unit. That's all right. Okay, so that's going to then sort of open things up a little bit for us there. At least we can see when these are going to come down towards us with what we actually are looking at through there. We just don't know what they're doing back up this way, but we'll get there eventually. Everything else is looking good there. Let's just go back to replacement troops. Yeah, we've still got 500 in there. The light armour. Yeah, we're missing a few of these now, so we need to get more of these, but we can't afford them until we get more metals. So we'll have to start to bring them in as well in the coming turns. They're dug into the ruins that are sitting back in through here, which gives them a very, very good entrenchment. And then we've got, again, we'll be able to, with this light armour, we're going to be able to then move out and fan out very, very quickly, surround their units. We'll be able to sort of blitzkrieg our way through to the mountains very, very quickly and just cut off any troops that are in this area. So all we have to do is just keep a masking force at the back through here. Well, let's move this one down into this position. Now, what else have we got there? We've got one of every single group there. Let's go and move the orange up, away from there. Yeah, we've got the armoured cars there as well, which I'm happy enough just to leave there at this point in time, along with the pink group. Just move that one down. More pink groups coming up this way. Let's just keep them as a mask for this southern area. These guys are going to take the north. These guys are going to keep on. They're going to switch down to the south. And they're going to go up this way. Yep, so we've now got, so they can then sort of start to move up this way a little bit. So we're just trying to sort of now just get all of the different forces, and we'll keep this sort of like this dull red group in the middle at this point in time with the 2nd Infantry. They've been around for a long time. They're sort of veteran units, so they're fairly good at doing what they have to do. But all we really need them to do at this stage is just hang on and sort of stop any incursions. Now, they may still try to break through different areas, but we certainly have dug in. And as long as we don't move, the entrenchment, we'll sort of find that this one, the entrenchment, when it's moved in here is 90, so with the actual move. But the one that was actually, no, it's the wrong one there. That one's moved in with 50 when it's actually moved in. This one's been sitting in here at 90 at this stage, and we'll just be digging in further and further. The groups that we have in through here, this one, for example, was 50 because it was on blitzkrieg. It will now start to dig in a little bit more effectively. So the blitzkrieg has hindered us to a degree. But we'll very soon actually have stronger and stronger forces ready to sort of come forward. Now, that's sort of moved in a little bit this way. What I might do is I might just keep that one on top there and just keep them back where they are behind this river. I think everything else there is good to go. 2 decisions to make. We have a new demand. Bureaucratic assets reach at least 10 levels. So we'll accept this demand because it's actually wanting us to build more stuff. Now, I can't do it with the metal just yet. So Tarazed requests permission for a personal guard. It's going to be pro-autocracy, which I don't really want to be doing. I think I'm going to go, no, we're not going to allow private armies.
Copy that.
I'll go that way. Giggins went down by -10, but so be it at this stage. That's all we need to do this turn. So we're now starting to get to the position where we're going to be able to blitz our way through. Now, this is actually an area that I want to just find out what's actually in here. There we go. We've now got recon of 37. I think I'll leave it for one more turn, and then we'll just come in with a big attack on that group. We don't know how big they actually are. I'm assuming that they're actually some aliens because they have, like, it's been difficult, like, to spot them, and so I'm assuming that's what we're actually going to find in there. This group as well, we're not really in a position to do anything with those just yet. I need some more armoured cars. I don't want to bring the armoured cars away from here until we at least get up to the mountains. All right, let's end our turn here. Now, if they break through anywhere, now that we've got that first light armour brigade, we're going to be able to move pretty much anywhere and plug any gaps. So we don't really have any big threats coming, and we're going to get a very, very clear picture now of their borders. So they're doing attacks. One thing we haven't seen is artillery. Quite often the AI will employ artillery to soften up forces before they go in. We haven't also done this. We haven't done the same thing either. Now, if we can starve the units out, that's all we really need to do. There we go. They're now doing an attack, and it's rifle militia that we're in there. That's going to be nice and easy for us. We killed 700 infantry, 40 tanks. We lost 200 infantry. We discovered the quad machine gun. That's good. And we also found the university. All right. Now we've got 452, and we need to get, if we just go to replacement troops and get these ones, we've still got 300 in reserve there. The light armour, we need to get 10 of these. How many can we get this turn? We get 5. Okay, we're halfway there. Let's go and produce those. These will then be delivered out to the actual forces. Now, the oil is coming backwards now that we're sort of starting to try to get more and more tanks. And we need to actually mine the oil. Now, I know that the AI has got an oil facility somewhere, which I would like this one here, I think is theirs. Yeah, it is. I think we actually buy this from them. We'll just nationalise it. That way we take control. They don't like giving it up, but that will then become something that we actually need. That there's another one up there as well. They can start to mine that one, then we might take that one off them as well. These are moving down towards the front a little bit. You can see there the issues. I'll just have a quick look at their borders. We can see that there's roads there from the major player. What's this zone? This is Nebelmark itself. Actually, no, this is Baben, so we don't know what's actually there. That is... Actually, that's all the same zone. It's all the zone Baben. I thought there was a border back there. If we have a bit of a look over this side, we can see that we've now got an area where we are now spotting this particular group. It's almost like, yeah, we've got 6 spies in this area. They've taken this zone. Okay, so we actually did end up with, we can now see inside what they've got inside this zone to see exactly what the enemy actually does have, which is interesting. That's Baben in there. This is Aldekopf. Now that's most likely going to be their capital zone. Could be one of these as well. Okona. Kopachon, this is all part of Nebelmark. Back down this way is Falk. It's all Falk down through there, and this is the border. So we've got another border with them back down this other side. So by the looks of this, they're quite powerful with the infantry that they actually have. They've got a lot of different infantry groups that we can sort of see out, like ranging out across in this particular zone. Now we're going to lose a lot of the spies that we have from here. There we go. They've got like rocket. This is the first independent rocket launcher. It's got a range of 2, so it's fairly powerful. Does good damage against soft targets. Okay, so we can expect to see those sorts of things now coming up against us fairly soon. We've got a lot to do here, a lot to do over the coming turns just to sort of push them back. But our plan will be, as I say, this mountain range is really the defensive line that we want to be making use of, and then we need to get across this as best we possibly can. There will be another, this is Aldekopf in through there. There will be a city back in here somewhere. Okay, now what else do we need to do? We've done everything we need to do there. I'm going to move this one back to help fight these other units. So let's move that one back. I might actually move this now that we've got the armored, now that we've got the other forces ready to go. Let's move this one out back up as well. That way we can have 2 of these just to keep the borders safe in the rear areas, away from the fighting. Pink will start to move in fairly soon. How are these guys going? They're at 77. Yeah, so their readiness is 77, and they don't have all the tanks yet, but it'll still be enough. It will still be enough. So let's get ready to surround this particular group. Seeing more tanks. These are still the old Wolf design that they actually had. And more that we're seeing in through here as well. As we move in, we're getting more and more recon. Let's go and move this one down as well, just to get a bit more recon down this side. There's recon of 60 in there, so we know that there's nothing much there. That cuts off this group. Just move that one back. And I don't need to worry about these because these will be cut out of supply. We just have to cut off the supply across this area. We can almost ignore all of this and just go straight out and just take a big bite from everything that we sort of see back through that other side. Even this one here, like, it doesn't really worry me too much. Keep them where they are. A little bit of a concern if they wander down. If these units do wander down, we'll have to sort of plug that gap, maybe with more armoured cars. We do have this armoured car unit down the back here. Now we also have this. I'm going to start to move this one back up into the rest of the map so that they can go back with the greens, and then we'll just plug it with these guys in through this side. Okay, I think that's all we have to do with those. Minor worker strike in Altona. We just pay them off. And new commander for the First Light Armour Brigade. Now we want a good leader in here, and we don't really have anything. Sunny is only a cap 1, and with no real skills, and Arcadia is a cap 1 as well. So I think ideally we'll just go through the process, but I already know who I want. I want the current leader of the second light infantry brigade, Oscar. Oscar is a cap 3 with amazing skills. So he's got very good operational command. He's got tank tactics at 22 in through this side. He's got everything. Offensive tactics. He's got everything. So he's an incredible commander. So we want to move him up into that role. I'm pretty sure. I doubt whether there'll be anyone better than him. So if we have a quick look at the command skills, and then we just go to operational command, which is the one that's actually important here. Sort by that one. He is the top of that one. Let's have a quick look. The Economic Council, we're not going to be moving him out of there. The first machine gunner, Beatrice. She's only a cap 1. She's not going to learn all that well. So we'll leave that one alone. The Governor of Bismarck, we're not going to move. The third light infantry is a cap 2. He's okay, but really the one that is the best one is Oscar. So we're going to call him up, and we're going to relieve him. We've got another job for you.
Roger that.
All right. And then we're just going to go and change this one back and go back to the decisions. And so there he is. His suitability is 74. He is absolutely who we need in charge of this light armour brigade. He's going to be able to really push the battles into a very, very effective position for us. All right, that one's done. Now we're hit the half-hour mark. We're not ready to attack with these guys yet, but we're very, very close. Even if we don't get all of the troops in here, like we've only got like one extra one, that they'll go from 3 to 4 in the next round. I am sort of tempted to actually go even with just 4 of them at this stage, and then we sort of have to wait for the supplies to catch up to where they are. The fuel is actually currently okay. It's not fantastic, but it's okay. Everything else is looking fairly positive. The ammo is going backwards. We don't have much metal. I need to get more metal. Actually, one other thing you can do to try to find things out is to just go to the strategic map and then just go to stats, and then you can actually go and have a look at specifics that you then know about. So if we go to metals, we've only got the 3 that we actually have. There's nothing else, and we're already used. Now I think that one there has been set up as a privately run. We control both of these. I think I'll still leave that as privately run for now, and we'll have a quick look at oil as well. We've got 1 extra oil, which we probably will need to make use of. It's a fair way away from Altona, and this is another thing actually worth talking about, is the what's called the administrative strain. So Altona has got one that is like this one here is within 6. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it's inside the area. Now if we have a look at Altona and click over through here, and then have a look, that's the minor city. It's a regular zone. You'll see the admin strain is 0, and it says functions as a production penalty on items. The higher it is, the less efficient your management of the zone will be. Now I'm thinking that this one here will be more than 6 away. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's 7. It's probably going to be okay. That's the only mine that we actually have. The only asset that we're really sort of controlling. Have a quick look at this one. Yeah, it's got an admin strain of 1% because that one's 7 away. If they're a long, long way away, not the privately run groups, like this one here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's okay. If we got this one here, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's going to be, that one's going to cause admin strain onto Altona, which doesn't really matter that much unless you've got like a lot of different areas. It may be better to build something else in around here and then use that to actually then mine these and then ship them down to Altona. That's the other way of doing it, just to get rid of the admin strain. So that's just another little aspect. Oh, this one here. Let's kill this one while we're here.
Engage the
Now
enemy.
we don't have much recon, so we're going to take some losses here, but we should be able to crush them.
Here's this.
Yeah, that's fine. That just moves them out of the way, and then we can just sort of then go back and take up the border. We can just keep on pushing back up against these. This one here I'm going to need to get armoured cars back for. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next episode. In fact, what we might do is we might end the turn, now that we've sort of done as much as we can here at this point in time. We're getting ready, like these are still got the readiness of like 71, so it'll still take a turn or two to get them up to speed. Let's just end the turn, and that way we can just sort of have it at least ready for the assault next turn. And we want to take bites out of them, but I'll explain that in the next episode when we sort of start looking at the actual attacks themselves. Yep, they're trying to squeeze out the different units. So I don't mind them attacking because it's going to be difficult for them to actually do anything. Oh, they've broken through the road. Again, I don't mind this because now we do have an opportunity to gobble them up, and there is movement now across here. So there was some movement out this side, which we're going to now need to move back and fix up this particular location. Also, if there is movement in here, it's going to then mean that this is going to have an issue with... actually, where is it? We've got the cluster bombs now as well. We can actually go and design a new tank, which will be a good one for us to go for. Now we've lost that road there. Doesn't do anything anymore. All it does is drain. If I just press logistics, there is actually logistics going up that way. So let's just go and press T and just turn off. Like I can either get rid of the road or I can just basically go and block everything. Just leave the pull points on, but block everything from back there. That will then just stop that, which will mean that we're not wasting as much logistics, sort of moving them around. It is important that we do that one. And what else are we going to have a look at? These have all been cut off, but it doesn't really worry us because these have now sort of pushed themselves into a position where, like everything, you can see the little black marker there. But I'll do that in the next episode. We'll have a good look at what's actually happening. They've been able to get back through to the road again, but not for long. Not for long. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you then.